Hey everyone, it's Dylan from the Black Forest Wood Company. This week we're going to show you how we use one of our silicone guitar molds to actually create a real functioning electric guitar. We do have these molds available for sale on our website, so we'll leave a link down in the description if any of you guys want to pick some up and try them for yourself. This particular mold is based on a Fender Telecaster body, and one thing I'll mention is that the body shape of the mold is the exact size of the finished body for the guitar. So you do have to make sure that your pieces of wood are cut tight to that outside edge, just so you get a nice finished shape when you're done this. And Eric here has decided to go with kind of a light blue pigment for the resin, so I believe he used our Caribbean Blue Black Forest pigments, and then of course he's using our Black Forest deep resin here. And with our deep resin, you could do a pour like this, 2 inches thick in a single shot with no worries of it overheating. One thing quite nice with these silicone molds as well is that they're a lot easier to release than the other HDPE molds. So they are a bit more expensive, but you don't have to pound them right out. So what Eric is doing here now is just surfacing both sides flat. I think there was a couple low spots on this too that he's going to end up refilling afterwards. So he's jointing one face on our Powermatic jointer, and then we're just sending it through our Laguna planer to get the other side nice and flat too. And now what Eric is doing is just doing the final routing on the outside shape of the body. So it's, like I said earlier, it's very close to the final size, but when you pour it, you do actually kind of end up pushing out that mold a bit. So there is a little bit left to route off with a template. So Eric, I believe, just ordered this template from StuMac. This isn't sponsored. And he's using that just to get a perfect shape out of the guitar body, just with the flush trim bit on the router. Once he's got that all trimmed to size on the template, he can then take this over to the drill press and begin taking out some of the cavities for the actual electric guitar hardware that's going to go in this body. So after he roughed things out with the drill press, now he's taking another flush trim bit on a router just to make everything more clean. The drill press is mostly just an easy way to remove material, so there's actually a spot for the router bit to plunge into. Otherwise, he'd have to make a plunge cut directly into the material, which would be a little bit sketchy. So the drill press just makes it a bit easier. So then after the removal of the template, Eric's just getting his body all sanded up nicely here. I believe he's taking this up to 320 grit because this piece is going to get a spray finish from Gecko. Now he's using our Supermax sander just to calibrate the exact thickness that's required. For a thickness sander, I'll actually say these Supermax sanders are probably the best thickness sander that you can get on a hobbyist level. Now he's just using our edge sander to take out any of the more rough marks on the outside or anywhere that there was some epoxy left, just to get everything nice and clean before that spray finish goes on. Same kind of deal as the edge sander, but we're using a spindle sander here this time, and the reason being is that just allows Eric to actually get into some of these tighter curves that you can see here. There would be no way to really do that with the edge sander, otherwise you'd kind of have to do it by hand. So we also have a bigger spindle we can put in there for some of the larger curves too. And here we're using some of our Black Forest super glue and epoxy. So it's not released yet, but we are coming out with a line of super glues and 5 and 10 minute, I believe, epoxies, mostly suited for repairs just like this. So Eric's just taking a syringe and filling in a lot of those really small imperfections so he can get a nice even finish when this is done. And then similar to what Eric was doing earlier, he's just using a template from StuMac to route out some grooves for, I believe this one's actually for where the neck is going to bolt onto the body. And then Eric's just drilling out for some of the wiring here, and you'll notice the washer on the drill bit. That's actually kind of a nice tip that you can use to help yourself drill straight. If you're leaning too far forward, the washer will fall into the body, and then if you're leaning too far back, the washer will fall into the drill. So you kind of just balance it there in the middle, and that gives you somewhat of an indication whether you're going straight or not.
I wrote it. Sick.
Do you want to use my jig?
I will, yes. That's not one of my Fender neck.
This is why
this
on the ground.
This is acting as a spring to keep pressure against it constantly.
Shit, and then you raise it through.
And then you raise it through.
That's
like
sick.
so.
Are those coil pickups or
So then you could adjust its height. That's very smart.
So that's it. So the higher you come.
See, I was worried that these were too deep because I thought it'd just be kind of sitting on the base, but
that way you can
makes
adjust
a
your
lot more
action
sense.
based off where your neck is sitting.
That's
so
smart.
you can raise these up, raise your pickup to get proper sound, and then
cool.
if this is too high by like a 16th, you can adjust it up there.
I guess the first thing to do would be get all these routed out to the right depth, and then drill some sketchy holes.
So this part here is a little sketchy. It's again another hole that's needed for wiring, and it's got to go all the way up to the neck and through most of the guitar body. So there's not really a good way to do this on a drill press. So we've got an extra long drill bit that we've bought. We're being very careful, and Eric is slowly drilling this thing out, trying not to come through the top of his guitar. So now Eric is drilling out to actually attach the neck onto the body of the guitar, and I believe this neck he also ordered from StewMac, so it was a prefabricated neck. And then once he's got everything aligned, he can actually go ahead and screw this neck right on there. So I believe it's maple with an ebony strip down the middle is what he ordered for this neck here. Now, unfortunately, Jekko missed the filming of probably one of the more satisfying parts of this process, and that is the spray coating going on the body of this guitar. But if you've watched some of our other videos, I'm sure you guys can kind of imagine what that probably looked like. And here is Eric playing the finished product that he built all by himself. Another thing that I should mention is if you're interested in learning how to build a guitar, we do offer a build your own acoustic guitar course. So we don't yet have an electric one, but you can come in and spend 12 weeks with Brad and build your own acoustic guitar. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the process of that guitar build. That was actually Eric, one of our staff members, who built that guitar for himself. It's just going to be his personal guitar. And I did want to talk a little bit about all the different varieties of molds that we have available. So what Eric used there was one of our silicone molds, and we have those available in quite a few different sizes. So there's the unique shapes like the guitar. We have a wine bottle or like a charcuterie board with a handle. There's one that's shaped like a skateboard here. And then we have some of our more standard shapes of silicone molds too. So there's rectangular ones, round ones. But then we have our HDPE forms. So those are a harder plastic. And there's two varieties that I want you guys to be aware of. So we have our actual plastic welded forms, which is like what you see right here, and also what you see here with the oval form. Then we have, for some cost savings that are available, are the one-piece vacuum form molds. So these have no welds at all. They're made from a single piece. They're a little bit thinner plastic, and they do kind of bend a little bit easier, but as long as you're clamping your pieces down, these molds still work totally fine, and you do end up saving yourself a little bit of money by going with this option. So all of these are available on our website. You guys can find them on there. We're also happy to answer any questions you might have about these in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching our video. One thing I should talk about, someone's probably going to ask about my finger. So I did break my finger. I was hiking and a water bottle fell on the tip of it, and I shattered the tip of my finger with a water bottle. So that's what happened to my finger. Not woodworking related, just a stupid water bottle. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.